To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya, he had just gathered all the Lantern Corps in the universe, talking with their leaders and trying to explain his plan. A lot of them do seem cautious. However, Carol Ferris, she does seem to be at least on board, since the plan does at least involve bringing back Hal Jordan, something Saint Walker himself is interested in doing. Hal Jordan seemingly went insane, meaning that there is hope to bring him back. Sure, he can't make up for his actions, but look at the young man in front of him. The young man is saving his own species, and wants to help bring balance back to the light, or the emotional spectrum. Along with that, he has at least heard of his rebellion against Darkseid. Now, with that being said, let us cut to a couple months later. About 7 months. Now, Midoriya, he is currently sitting where the power battery is, directly in front of it, sitting down and meditating. Saint Walker told him that this would be the best way to try and, control his forces. He doesn't like the idea of him using these red lanterns to find Hal Jordan, but he does at least understand it. The red lanterns themselves almost sided with Darkseid. Even then, their forces are as large as what the Green Lantern Corps used to be. Now, along with that, they are getting closer and closer, rebuilding and making parts of the Lantern Corps batteries. In fact, they have the current Ultraviolet Corps done, while they are still working on the Green Lantern Corps. All Midoriya needs to do is light the battery, light the sigil, and the Ultraviolet Corps will be born anew. This time, no one will control no one. You will have free will. Now, along with that, the Green Lantern Corps, that one's a bit trickier, because it might involve having to try and find Ion. I believe that's the name. It's the embodiment of willpower, like the fish, I believe? Hang on. Alright, now, I was right, it is Ion, the fish. It's weird, I'm not questioning it. Anyways, now, with that being said, Midoriya, he is still sitting where he is. And his eyes are glowing with power, shame, and rage. Midoriya is currently searching another space sector, and finding what remains of Hal Jordan's latest rampage against Darkseid. He's been using the Red Lanterns and the ultraviolet power to control them, and at least getting information he needs. Apparently, Hal Jordan himself killed a lot of Darkseid's guys, and they want revenge. So, all he really has to do is follow a trail of corpses and destruction, and he might find him. Hopefully, though, he'll want to talk. Then again, Mirio himself has been doing good. The one question he does have, though, is where has he been? He tried to talk to him a couple months ago, but, well, after he saw the Red Lantern uniform, he kinda just attacked. And trying to convince someone that, hey, it's me, while controlling someone else's body isn't really good. In fact, Mirio kinda took that guy down. Now, while Midoriya is sitting there, someone is trying to sneak up on him. And they want the money that has been put on his head. In fact, there's so much of it that you'll probably be richer than anyone in the galaxy, let alone the entire universe. The amount of money put on Midoriya's head is, however, weird in question. Many different civilizations that survived Midoriya's onslaughts, they put out as much money as they can. Every single planet has roughly top dollar for its head. And, well, after they all united under one banner to try and rebuild and help each other, yeah, that only got so much worse. As this person is sneaking up on him, and they're right behind him, bringing up their weapon to strike. The energy around Midoriya manifesting behind him, grabbing the person and then turning into chains as they pull them down to the ground. The person confuses their weapons drop, and Midoriya, he stands up, turning around himself, the assassin nearly in fear, and, well, completely terrified. Now, Midoriya would just go on saying that they are not the first person to try and kill him, nor will they be the last. Now, I have gotten information out of a lot of you. In fact, I'll make you a deal. I'll make this deal with everyone. Tell me what you know, and I will let you live. And I will help you get off my planet. The assassin, a bit more... yeah, that's not gonna happen. Midoriya just telling them that he knows quite a bit about who's hired him. Was it, as he go on, listing planets, the species on them, and saying, was it them, was it them, was it them? Or was it the United Planets, as he likes to call them? Now, he doesn't really get an answer. So he does tell the assassin that he will just let him leave. In fact, well, you are going to be going through one of my friends, as Miss Martian would be called. Her eventually making her way over and reading the assassin's mind. They do have some mental fortitude put in place. But, yeah, that's quickly broken down. Magan informing him that he got it from some random bar. In fact, he probably got it on some random planet somewhere out in space. And he thought she might be a pushover, since apparently the almighty Lord Death, as they nicknamed you, is looking for peace, and is currently on a planet trying to rebuild something. Now, Midoriya, he would let the assassin go, escorting them off the planet and informing them that he is no mere human anymore. If he sees them, hears them, or even thinks that they are coming for him, he will come after them and take them down. Their death will be quick. However, I will not tolerate attempts on my life. The assassin leaving, like a bat out of hell, wanting to get as far away from this place as possible. This guy is even crazier and deadlier than he ever imagined. The fact being that he was taken down without even being looked at. He didn't even think he saw him. Now, Midoriya would head back down to the planet and take a break from trying to build the battery, let alone find Hal Jordan. Informing Saint Walker and Sinestro's daughter of what he's found, along with the Indigo tribe. This new world has been getting better. In fact, they finally were able to stabilize a lot of what's been happening. And all the cities that they've dropped off on the planets are actually becoming one giant one. Almost a mega city. This just means that, as things go on, eventually new ideas and new cultures will be built. This is actually very interesting. Then again, after Earth, yeah, he remembers those days. Some things cannot be forgotten. In fact, they are trying to build a museum to talk about the history of that planet. Now, Midoriya, let's cut back those 7 months, whenever the Earth was on the brink of destruction. After talking with everyone, and at least trying to get things settled and get people to trust him, he decided that he did have to go back to Earth for one last thing. In fact, he knows that it's gonna be bad. But at this point, he doesn't care. Making his way to Earth and taking the Fortress of Solitude. Now, whenever he does get there, he sees exactly how bad things are. In fact, it's so cold, it doesn't feel like anything's able to survive. And, well, heading over to Metropolis, the place itself is very messed up. About half the city is covered in ice, and the buildings seem to be frozen over. However, at other places, it is warm, it is hot. And the reason for that being is because a lot of the people who stayed behind, they had fire quirks or abilities, ones that allowed them to keep themselves warm, wanting to keep everyone safe. Quite the good idea. As Midoriya, he has the fortress up in space waiting for him. And he does land. Quite a lot of people seeing him. And running over. Begging for him to take their city. Begging for him to save them. Now, Midoriya, he is looking around. And he's looking for someone. He knows that they're here. He can hear their heartbeat. The difference in it. Where are they? As he walks through the camp. Now, he walks straight up to a campfire, as there are two people wrapped up in a lot of clothing. Midoriya is saying, "Hello, Jonathan." Him looking up, not saying a single word. Midoriya informing him that he is making one last trip, and he's taking Metropolis. Jonathan doesn't say a thing, though. He knew Midoriya was on the right side, and that he was blinded by just trying to save his home. He didn't think of a backup plan. He put too much trust in Luther, and he just betrayed them. He left the planet without a second thought, nor looking back. The place he was born, the place he was raised, or even the people he had left behind. That man is not human. Now, a lot of people hearing that Midoriya is taking Metropolis would begin to cheer. Some people would cry, but the tears would just freeze to their face and to their eyes. Now, Midoriya does sit down and listen with them, hearing them explain what's been happening. Luther's abandonment, Jason Todd disappearing, and, well, the uncounted numbers of people left alive. In fact, shortly after Midoriya's departure, a couple days ago, roughly 6 to 7, things got worse. A lot of different countries began to start freezing over again, and they lost contact with quite a few of them. They lost contact with India, Hawaii, Alaska, Japan, Russia, and the list just goes on more. In fact, without his powers, he doesn't know how many people are alive. Midoriya saved 10% of the population. That was no easy feat. Admitting his defeat. Telling Midoriya that he's sorry he should have listened. And, well, he doesn't believe that he can be a hero anymore. In fact, it's all about survival now. He's trying to use the remaining heat vision he has, or UV power, just to try and keep them all warm. Keeping the fire lit. Now, Midoriya, with a sour look on his face, he's a bit angry. John only realizes that now was a good time to listen to him. Not whenever everything went wrong, not whenever things were bad. Only whenever they were at their worst. Now, Midoriya lifts upwards into the sky. People believing him to be abandoning them, reaching out their hands and screaming. As, whenever Midoriya gets high enough, he begins to start making constructs, raising the city from the ground. All the people immediately just beginning to cheer, and at least being thankful. As Midoriya brings Metropolis to the New Worlds, dropping it off closer to his own city. The Fortress of Solitude being dropped close by the 001. Now, with that being said, hours later, the Earth is destroyed, the remaining population dying in the process. Midoriya does have his doubts, though. He's not sure if people survived. The only thing he is unsure of is whether the Sun Eater died. That thing caused this entire problem. So, let's hope it got its fill if it is still alive. Now, with that being said, let us cut back to present day. Midoriya. He is currently at his home. He was able to get a new place away from his parents. And, well, his mom was excited too. She's gonna have a grandchild. And, well, yeah. She never thought she would see the day. In fact, Jiro's parents themselves are also very excited. And they try to at least pitch in and help. However, Midoriya was able to get a place. Now, the place they live in, or well, currently call home, is an apartment not too far away from the old music shop they met at. The place is pretty big and pretty spacious, but it doesn't have an extra room, so something they will need later on in the future. In fact, they are still working on moving some of the things, and, well, Midoriya's at least tried pitching the idea that they call the Fortress of Solitude home. Now, Jiro doesn't really want to do that. That place isn't safe for a child, let alone a baby. Midoriya didn't argue with her, as they do at least spend some time together. Midoriya has truly found peace, although his life is odd. His planet's gone, everyone he possibly knew back when he was younger either killed or possibly died on the planets, or they're here. Occasionally he gets hitmen or assassins after him. Then he's trying to just revive a fallen core. Right now, people would call him insane. But he does at least know what he's doing is right. Now, with that being said, there is another assassin coming after him. In fact, they want to give him a shot. And the main man is not going to step down from a challenge like this. Now, I do believe that will be a good part to leave this off of, and I do hope you guys enjoyed. However, the next part might be slow to come out, since there is possibly a lot of noise in the background that you guys heard in this video. If there is not, then that does mean that the acoustic foam I have in my room is working. Hopefully.